The Chicago Blackhawks and Anaheim Ducks are set to kick off their Western Conference final, and we're talking with our NHL expert Dave Golikoff to help us break down this series. So Dave, we got two teams that are playing really at the top of their game right now. The Ducks have only lost one game this whole playoffs, Chicago only losing two, each team earning a sweep along the way. Now they find themselves up against a worthy opponent in each other. The Ducks will continue to rely on Corey Perry to find the back of the net as he leads the playoffs with 15 points. The Blackhawks have Patrick Kane in second with 13. Now, Dave, who gets the advantage on offense in this one as these teams are so very similar?
I think offense is a wash between these two teams. The Ducks, I think, are playing very well offensively. They do have a great top line, but I think more important for bettors to know is that this team finally has some depth. I mean, so many times we've seen the Ducks go into the playoffs as a one-trick pony with that one tough line. But now they've got Jacob Silfverberg, who's up there in points this postseason. Matt Bolesky's got 5 goals. He's on fire. Ryan Kessler leads the second line. This team has scoring, but now it's scoring all the way through the lineup. And as for Chicago, I mean, they've got depth. We know that. They've got a dominant top line. We know that. So I think Anaheim has shown this year that they're at least Chicago's equal in that regard.
Absolutely. Now, each team also has a diverse set of defensive players who are both quick and powerful, both excelling in transition as well. Add to that some goalies who have flashed some genuine brilliance, and it'll be interesting to see what pace this series takes, Dave. Who gets your edge on the defensive side of the puck in this one?
Well, I think on the defensive side, it's pretty close to a wash, but I give the edge to Chicago. Look, we don't know a whole lot about Frederik Andersen. He doesn't have a good track record against Chicago. He's played well in these playoffs, but there's still some question marks whether this is the number one guy. Remember, last year in the playoffs, he had a shot. He did not secure that position. The Ducks ended up going with John Gibson in the end, and they ended up losing in the second round to the Los Angeles Kings. You know, Chicago, for their part, they've had some issues with Corey Crawford. Remember, they had to pull him. They put in Scott Darling in the first round. Eventually, they pulled Darling, put Crawford back in. I think goaltending could be a wash, even though the stats point to Anaheim as far as the performance so far this season. But in terms of the blue line, you definitely give the edge to Chicago here. Duncan, Keith, Seabrook. I mean, this is a roster that's full of quality defensemen. Anaheim has good defensemen, but they're a little bit suspect, especially in terms of depth. So I think Chicago gets the edge in terms of the blue line. Goaltending is about a wash right now.
All right, well, it seems pretty clear that these are two very well-matched teams, and this series looks to be long and tough for both squads. I like the Blackhawks to take it in 7, but you're our NHL guy, Dave. What do you got for me?
I have the Blackhawks in 6. I think this is a tough matchup for Anaheim. It's just the intangibles. We went through the tangibles, and it seems pretty equal, but the intangibles is where I see Chicago having the edge. Anaheim has had cupcake matchups so far this postseason. Winnipeg in round 1, Calgary in round 2. I mean, glorified number 8 seeds, both of those teams. As for Chicago, I mean, they did take care of a slumping Nashville team in round 1, but then they swept a very good Wild team in round 2. So Chicago, to me, is more battle-tested. Then you look at through the history. I mean, Chicago's the team that has the edge in execution. They've got rings on their fingers. They've been here. They've done that. Anaheim is a team that's trying to prove that they can do that. And, I'm just not sure that they can get the job done. I think Chicago is the team that executes better. I think they have the savvy, the experience. Anaheim is going to have some problems in this series. Even though they have home ice advantage, you can see that this is an even matchup as the lines are to pick. And I think that gives you a great opportunity to buy in with the Blackhawks here. If a defensive team like Nashville and a defensive team like Minnesota can't stop the Blackhawks, I really can't see Anaheim being the team to slow them down.
All right, there you have it, folks. Expert handicapper Dave Golikoff taking the playoff-proven Blackhawks to win it in 6. Thanks, Dave, and remember, for all your NHL picks, previews, and predictions, keep it locked right here at sportsbookreview.com.